welcome to another exciting episode of the Andrea the Beast Cody Show. Another exciting show and definitely another exciting guest. We're going to talk to a beautiful young lady in Houston, Texas. I'll tell you where we're going with this story. Bear with me here. Imagine being diagnosed with PTOS, later otherwise changing the name later to PMOS. And let me tell you a little bit about what these mean, and this is going to tell you what those letters mean. But imagine waking up every day with no energy, not having that motivation, because you need that energy and motivation goes hand in hand. Being a wife, being a mother, and going to the medical facilities with, let's call it what it is, little to no results. Then all of a sudden, you find the remedy through natural plant-based ingredients that clearly change your life. So my question is, did she find something that can rewrite what the treatment is for PTOS/PMOS? We about to find out. Let's welcome to the show, Miss Andrea Garcia. How we doing, baby girl?
Hi, I'm doing great today. Thank you so much.
Man, these are some serious letters. But before we dissect what these letters mean, tell the viewers a little bit about who you are.
Yes, so I'm Andrea. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I work full time. I create content on the side. Just trying to grow myself, trying to grow my business, just trying to grow in everything.
Now, you suffered for quite some time with overcoming a health condition called PTOS, otherwise known as PMOS. Exactly what is that? How did you get diagnosed with it, and what's the repercussions of having this?
Yeah, so it's actually PCOS, which was polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it's been a challenge. It's a big challenge for women because it's not just a reproductive issue, it's a metabolic issue. And recently they have identified that and changed the name of it to PMOS, which is polycystic metabolic ovarian syndrome. And I've struggled with this since I was a teenager. I had seen multiple specialists for it, or for my symptoms. I saw multiple specialists. It wasn't until a few years ago, and when I say a few years ago, I mean like literally 5 years ago, that it was like probably the eighth doctor that I've seen. And he was just like nonchalantly was like, "Oh yeah, you have PCOS. Let's do this." And I was like, "Wait, what? What is that?" So he explained it to me, and he recommended, the treatment for it. There's not really a cure for it. You can only treat it, your symptoms, and move on from there.
What was the treatment
So,
that he gave you? What was the treatment? You went to 8 doctors. Did each
uh,
doctor prescribe a different treatment? And how old were you when you were seeing these doctors?
yeah. So I started out when I was about 20, um, for my issues I was having. And just throughout the years, I saw different physicians. They never diagnosed, they never tested. They always just wanted to put you on birth control. They say that birth control pills help everything, right? Well, no, they don't. They're actually not great for you. But I didn't know that at the time. I spent a lot of years taking birth control pills. There's a lot of potential side effects. There's a lot of harm from them. So I don't recommend them personally. But then this doctor that I saw a few years ago that actually diagnosed me, he had a course of treatments because so one of the biggest things that women with PCOS deal with is weight gain. It's hard to keep off weight. It doesn't matter what you do. You can diet, you can exercise, you can do everything right. You can, do the calorie deficit, everything, and nothing, most of the time works for that. So he actually recommended at that time a GLP-1 for me to start. I started that, and that was helpful. It did help me lose weight. It did it did lower my blood sugar levels because that's another thing that happens with women with PCOS is your sugar levels stay high because you're resistant to insulin. It did help with that, and I'm actually still on it. I've been on that for a few years, but the side effect is that you feel tired. It does bring on tiredness. Um, there's other things too, but thankfully I haven't, had any other side effects. And then it wasn't until this year when a friend introduced me to some products that she had been using,
Mhm.
and that's like when everything shifted for me with my energy levels and everything.
Let me go back a little bit so I can bring
Sure,
the viewers in on some key questions because
sure.
you're now providing educational information to individuals that might have had this or or is going through this. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions. You've had this for quite some time. When did you really start noticing it? Did it start to show its effectiveness on your body after you start developing as a young girl? Um, and more importantly, why did it take the eighth doctor to actually give you the proper diagnosis? What were the other ones giving you instead of just giving you birth control? What were they diagnosing you with?
So they were kind of saying they didn't give me an actual diagnosis. They were saying that it could be,
Hormonal
forget the name
imbalance,
of,
like a hormonal imbalance or coming into your hormones?
no, it's where there's scar tissue on your reproductive organs. I can't think of the name of it right now. There is a
Ablation?
diagnosis. They're saying that it could be.
So you had ablations?
No, no, I'd never had ablations then. It's endometriosis. They tried to tell me that I could potentially have endometriosis, but they wouldn't know unless they went in and did surgery and explored. I
Yeah,
didn't want to do that.
you don't want to do that. What was your mom
Right.
saying? Did your mom have any idea on what you was going through as a female?
I mean, she had issues too, for when she was younger. But again, it's not something that a lot of doctors look for and diagnose. I don't know if it's because of a lack of knowledge. I don't know if it's because of lack of not wanting to look further into it. Um, I don't know the reasoning, but it is hard for women to get diagnosed with this.
Now, who was your doctor? Were they male? Were they female? Was it an OBGYN? Was it an endocrinologist? Who were you seeking? Who was giving you information?
So I've seen female OB-GYNs, I've seen male OB-GYNs, and again, it wasn't until recent when I told you I was diagnosed, it was a male OB-GYN that I believe he's the head of the department for the hospital system that he worked for. So he's an older gentleman. He has lots of knowledge, and he has lots of awards to where he was like first with robotic surgeries and things. So I think that he was a physician that looked for answers and results.
When you find out what you had, what was his treatment plan for you moving forward before you switched and found the natural plant base? And what I'm going with this is showing whatever he did, it didn't help the situation because you can only treat things. So you were still suffering from being tired. Now you're picking up weight, all kind of things, correct? From this new medication that they were giving you, correct?
Well, from the GLP-1 that they put me on, I was able to actually start losing weight for the first time. in 20 years. So that did help, but some of the side effects are feeling tired. So I was already feeling tired from having, the PCOS, and then I was feeling tired from the medication as well.
How was this affecting you as a wife and a mother and your job?
I
It's real. You work in your job.
I mean, I've always been really driven, so I just keep on going, but I work from home, which is a blessing. So when I would clock out at 3 o'clock, I would normally have to go take a nap just because I would need to, recover and from the tiredness. And before I could move on and do anything else, I would have to have a nap in the afternoons.
You said you talked to a friend that recommended trying a plant based product that had natural plants and mushrooms and some other ingredients in it. How skeptical were you, or how desperate were you to try something different than what the doctors had recommended?
Yeah, so I've tried a couple of years ago, mushroom coffee had become a big thing, right? So I tried it before and I was like, this is disgusting. So I was skeptical when she wanted me to try the product. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I've tried something before and I didn't like it. She was like, I promise you, just try it. So I did, and it's so funny because I tried it on a Sunday afternoon. And when I say that I had energy like never before, it was crazy. I was able to I made dinner, I meal prepped for the week, I cleaned my whole house, I reorganized my closet. I did like so many things all in one afternoon, which I'd never been able to do before.
Well,
All at once,
how much
anyways.
caffeine, how much caffeine was really in that product?
So what's crazy, I think what the difference is yes, there's caffeine in it, but it's natural. It's natural, right? It's not artificial caffeine. So you're not getting, I guess, all the bad artificial ingredients with it. So it's better for you.
Now, how did this really change what you have conditioning wise? Because caffeine is a stimulant, but I get you
Yeah.
taking up natural herbs and stuff. But how was it a change versus what the doctors were giving you?
Now I still am on a GLP-1. It's because it has to balance my blood sugar levels. So I am still on that. But the difference with this is that it helps me it helps with my energy levels. I'm able to stay focused and I'm just able to get more things done.
How was your mental clarity based on everything that you went through up until now?
Yeah, so before I would have a fog throughout the day. Um my mind would drift, also thinking of everything I needed to do and everything I couldn't do. And now it's so much better. I'm able to focus on what I'm doing and, complete my tasks. I'm able to plan and actually um, make things happen.
hmm The product that you're taking that's plant based, what do you think were some of the main key ingredients that really showed a shift in your overall health?
So I believe one of the main things is that it has nootropics in it. Nootropics help with they help increase your dopamine. So they if you're not familiar with dopamine, dopamine basically makes you happy, right? It it's it helps with like motivation, it helps with the mental clarity, it just all of that together.
How do you look at the medical field now based on the fact that it took a long period for them to properly diagnose you? How do you even look at the medical community now? Now, do you have a daughter?
I do have a daughter.
Knowing what you went through, how does that make you feel? Knowing that hopefully she doesn't have to go through that, but knowing that you had to jump through all these different hoops and what we call, they said we have the best medical care in the world, but clearly it took multiple doctors who couldn't give you accurate information to get you to where you're at now. So how do you feel about the medical community as a whole right now?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked because I have actually worked in the medical field ever since I was 15. So I'm familiar with, doctors in various fields. But I I don't really know. I mean, it's disappointing just because it's not just in the USA. It's like it's a global thing to where treatment is hard. Diagnosis and treatment is hard to come by. I'm in several online or Facebook groups with people throughout the world. And so it's the same thing happening in other countries too.
How widespread is this uh, particular diagnosis with women? Like on a scale of like 0 to 90%, like how many women are actually suffering with this particular condition?
Oh my goodness. So I really couldn't give you a valid number just because um I could say that right now, based on people that I know that I'm, close to that have shared like the same issues with me, I know probably three people within my family right off that potentially have this, but haven't been diagnosed with it. As far as worldwide, I really couldn't give you a number, but I believe there's a lot of women out there that deal with these symptoms on a daily basis and don't have the treatment that they need for it.
You mentioned generations of women in your family as this. How are
Mhm.
they accepting what, how you're treating yourself with it?
Well, two of them are younger, so they are still dependent on their mothers. I have shared the information with them. Now, what they do with it is up to them.
Now, my last question here. Thank you for taking time to share such
Sure.
a resource to women all over the world that there is a product, there are products out there that are plant based that can or may not. So let me go here. How many products have you tried that didn't work, and why did they not work?
I've tried a lot of different products throughout the years, to be honest. I don't know why they didn't work. Um, Maybe it's because they didn't have the specific blend of ingredients that work together,
Mhm.
because that's important. You can have this ingredient here and that ingredient there, but sometimes when they're together, they work better. Just like when people, you work better together, right?
Mhm. So, what is your
So,
doctor, your primary care, and your OBGY, the guy that diagnosed you? How do they feel about you coming forward with self care that you've added into the regimen for your own self care?
yeah, so that's a good question because a lot of people are not involved in their healthcare. They just listen to what their physicians say. They don't question it. They just go along with it and they're not involved in the decision making. Again, I've been in the medical field for a long time and I like to be involved with decisions. I like to be involved with what I put in my body. So they are fine with it. It was very important to me when I was looking for physicians that they're not one that just says you do this or you can't be a patient, because I don't do that.
Before we wrap up, what advice would you give women of all ages based on what you've gone through? What kind of information would you share with them so um, they don't have to go through 8 different doctors to get one right diagnosis?
So I would recommend finding a physician that listens and doesn't just speak, that doesn't say, well, it could be this or it could be that, and not do any kind of testing. If you look, I know the internet can be cringy to physicians sometimes because
Yeah.
it can, yeah, it can over, analyze things and give you wrong information. But if you do have certain symptoms that you've dealt with for a long time and nothing is working, then I would, Google that information and talk to your physician about it. Talk to them about tests. Ask about it. Can we do this test or that test? Because testing is how you find the answers. Um, Blood work doesn't lie. I wouldn't recommend going to exploratory surgery just like one of my physicians did, because I mean, who really wants to have surgery to explore?
That makes common sense. How can the viewers reach out to you and follow your journey and know more about how you took self care to a different level for yourself?
Yeah, so I talk more about this on my personal Facebook. You can follow me on there. I do share information daily. I do post updates. I don't really point it towards PCOS because when you work with when you take wellness products, they're usually not recommended exactly by the FDA,
Right.
and right, because they're more holistic. So you can't really like make claims that it does this or that.
Right. Right. So
Right.
what's your handle on Facebook so they can still follow you?
It's Andrea Garcia,
Uh,
and I am in the Houston, Texas area.
Houston, Texas. Hey, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Don't forget that.
I am too.
So make sure you, Andrea, thank you so much for taking time and share that brief bit of information. I hope you women
Yes.
take it and utilize it. Um, Remember, all it takes is one click of that button. Subscribe, like, share, follow. Click that button. Make a difference in your life or change somebody else's. This is another, and I do mean another exciting episode of the Andre the Beast Creighton Show.